So that's enough about the players themselves. We're going to be going into game number 1. Jacob Littner on the left side of your screen. You have Currypuff on the right side of the screen in the player 2 spot. And Currypuff is going to be showing the Annihilate and the Iron Bundle, while Lintymon is going to be showing the Rotom Wash and the Corviknight.
Yes, so I am very intrigued to see how this matchup folds out because Annihilate does have that Terra Fire, and we've seen in the last set with Christopher how Rotom Wash loves to hit the Will-O-Wisp. If Annihilate Terras the Terra Fire, he won't be able to hit that Will-O-Wisp anymore. So that's going to be very important there. No Will-O-Wisp coming out, actually getting switched out and putting in Matilda, who is the Screamtail. I love the Screamtail because it has Howl, which is such a niche thing to boost both you and your the Pokemon next to you's attack stat.
Okay, so we're going to see the Freeze Dry coming through. It is going to be hitting... Oh, no. Oh, it's actually the Freeze Dry. I thought it was Icy Wind. So Freeze Dry coming into Matilda, otherwise known as the Screamtail. Not really doing too much damage. We're going to be seeing the bulk up from the Annihilate, raising its attack power and defensive stats by 1 stage apiece, but the Tailwind is going to be coming from the Corviknight, boosting the speed on Lintymon's side by 2 for the next few turns. And now we're going to see an Encore. That's actually going to be locking the Annihilate into bulk up for the next 3 turns.
Yes, that is huge because now Annihilate cannot do any moves, but neither can Corviknight because it's an Encore mirror. They just need to play another show, maybe.
So something you're also going to see here is kind of awkward. You know, you're locking the Annihilate into bulk up, but at the same time, you're giving the Annihilate all these boosts. And I don't know if Jacob Littner has an option on his team. We'll have to see that a little bit soon. We don't want to give away what's in the back just because the players might be able to hear us. But yeah, you have to keep in mind that.
Well, we can talk about the Rotom, which has been shown.
The risk reward between encoring Setupmon. Like if you use Encore into like Pokemon with like Dragon Dance or SD or Geomancy, I've done that before. It's
Encore disabled though.
Oh, it is Encore disabled. So yeah, we do have to keep that in mind. But it's right now we just have to see what else is happening because the Screamtail actually is going first in comparison to the Iron Bundle. So the Iron Bundle could get Encored itself. The Iron Bundle is going to be switching out into this Chi-Yu this time. So this is a Safety Goggles Chi-Yu set. So no Focus Sash on there. Let's hope that it doesn't get hit by a crazy move. Oxygen, the Corviknight is going to be switching out into the... Oh, I think that's the Fluttermane.
Yep,
that's Fluttermane.
Fluttermane is coming in, and Annihilate gets disabled, which means he is going to be forced into struggling for the rest for 3 turns. Or is it a 3-turn thing? Or
yeah, so Encore will last for 3 turns, and then because it's disabled, you cannot use the move that you moves last, but because of Encore, you cannot use Bulk Up again, so it's forced to struggle as its only option. You could switch out Annihilate, but you're also giving Jacob Littner the potential to do more damage into whatever is switching in the Annihilate. Otherwise, you're having the Annihilate you struggle do like very minimal amounts of damage onto any one of Jacob Littner's Pokemon, but you're also taking 25% recoil because of the struggle.
Yeah, and because of the Tailwind, which is still on the screen, I believe Fluttermane should probably be the fastest thing on the field. Oh, actually, no. The Play Rough coming in from the Screamtail.
Yeah, the Booster Energy version.
I forget how fast Screamtail is.
The Booster Energy version of the Screamtail does a lot of damage. That Moonblast actually just barely able to pick up the KO onto the Annihilate, actually doing minus special attack, but because it's not the Divine set, not going to be taking that much. But something I actually just saw was a Lava Plume coming out from Currypuff, which actually self-KOing the Annihilate.
Yeah, it actually backfired in his against him, but because Annihilate was forced into struggle there, probably would have taken his own KO anyways, which could be a benefit because now he has Baxcalibur and Chi-Yu, which is a lot more threatening than an Annihilate, who is a sitting duck with the Encore disable.
You do have to keep in mind that the Tailwind is still activated, so the Screamtail and the Fluttermane are going to be moving exceptionally fast against all of Currypuff's options. You have the Chi-Yu and you have the Baxcalibur, but it's still not going to be moving faster than either of Jacob Littner's Pokemon, so you have to be careful. There's no Terra yet from Currypuff, so you have to see if this is going to be a Terra onto either one of these Pokemon. I'd imagine it's going to be the Baxcalibur to make sure you resist the Moonblast attack. It is going to be the Terra Water Baxcalibur coming through, most likely, again, trying to resist that Moonblast.
And something to mention right here is Baxcalibur's ability Thermal Exchange. We've seen Chi-Yu use Lava Plume and actually KO his own Annihilate, that's actually a tech that Currypuff has put into his team where if a fire move hits Baxcalibur, it's going to boost his attack. So let's see if he goes for Lava Plume here. He goes for Disable against the Lava Plume, so blocking that strat from happening. Very smart play from Lintymon. And actually, Currypuff was not ready for that, went for Lava Plume, and does not get that turn to go the way he wanted to.
Yeah, if you're Currypuff, you have the options between Protect, Dark Pulse, Nasty Plot, or Lava Plume. But if you use Protect or if you use Nasty Plot, you're going to get locked into either one of them when you still have a Scream Tail. You can't really break that fast. Your best option is Dark Pulse, but you're not really doing that much damage outside of that. You could obviously, Lava Plume would use the last turn, so you are going to be getting hit by the Disable. We did see the Terra Water Baxcalibur, but no real benefit here because you can't use the Lava Plume to reduce your damage from the Lava Plume, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to be seeing the Fluttermane switch out actually back into the Corviknight for Lintymon. Let's see what's going to happen. The Chi-Yu is actually going to go for the Protect because it pretty much has to, otherwise you're going to take so much damage from something like a Play Rough. We're going to see the Encore into the Chi-Yu this time, trying to lock into the Lava Plume to force the struggle. Icicle Spear coming through, that's going to be 1 hit. This is going to be number 2 hit.
And
3!
And Baxcalibur does have loaded dice, so it is
4!
increased odds of getting that 4 to 5.
5. So 5 hits. So if you don't know, for those at home, loaded dice is an item that gives the option for multi-hit moves such as Bullet Seed or Icicle Spear or Rock Blast to hit guaranteed 4 to 5 times, and the only difference is that if you hit the 5th time, it's a 50% chance to get that extra hit, so it's pretty good damage. And it's guaranteed 4 hits, which is already a lot more damage than other moves.
Yeah. It's stab for Baxcalibur, which is just going to be so much damage output every time. But I believe Lintymon was trying to disable the Icicle Spear there, but Currypuff using the Ice Shard to prevent that from happening. Maybe he read that. It kind of seemed like he was prepared for that disable to come in.
Yeah, I really like that disable because obviously you're expecting Currypuff to use that Icicle Spear to the best of your ability because you need to use it. One of Baxcalibur's strongest moves outside of Glaive Rush, but you trying to get that chip damage onto the Scream Tail. Let's see what's going to be happening now. The Baxcalibur is still in an awkward position because, it could still take a lot of damage from the player off on the Scream Tail. It is going to be switching into the back. We're going to be seeing the Chi-Yu coming back in. We also still have the Iron Bundle on the side. The Chi-Yu, I don't know if it's going to be able to take, a lot of these hits. We're going to see the Scream Tail go first. It's going to hit the player off. It's still not doing that much damage. Probably did about 30% onto this Chi-Yu. Icy Wind coming through. It's going to do a lot more damage because of the Treasures of Ruin ability on Chi-Yu, known as Beads of Ruin, reducing the special defense of both Mons on Lintymon's side.
But because of Mirror Armor, actually does not lower the speed of Corviknight. It actually lowers the speed of Currypuff's Iron Bundle, which could come into play very much later, especially with the Tailwind on the screen right now.
Absolutely. So we're going to see the Baxcalibur coming right back in, even though the Chi-Yu just switched out. Not doing that much impact for the Chi-Yu, but now you're forced to play with the Baxcalibur. This is the last 2 Pokemon. If you're Currypuff with the Iron Bundle on the side, while Jacob Linder still has 4 Pokemon and has been, doing exceptional pivoting, having the Chi, no, it had the Fluttermane, it had the Corviknight, it had the Scream Tail, and it had, what was the other one?
Rotom.
It was Rotom? I forgot. I mean,
it was definitely Rotom.
I think the Rotom came in and then basically just switched out.
Yeah, it was literally, it was on first preview, and then it was like, I don't like this. I'm getting out of here.
Something we're going to be seeing right here is Scream Tail is going to be using Terra, but this is, I think, a very interesting
Terra Steel.
No, it's Terra Water.
Oh.
That's what I was saying. It's a very different, because some of them mostly are Terra Steel. I don't think I've ever seen a Terra Water. But this is going to be resisting an Ice Shard if it does get hit. We're going to see the Ice Shard. It's actually going to go into the
Corviknight
this time. Yeah, and that's going to pick up the KO, only having 26 HP, and that's a pretty quick KO. Disable coming through again, probably trying to bait out some sort of, move that Baxcalibur was trying to use. Freeze Dry coming through. That's actually going to be super effective damage because of the water typing, because Freeze Dry can hit water types for super effective, which is actually a mixture of, normally, ice types only do half damage because of, the resistance you have as a water type, but Freeze Dry is the exception to that rule. But now we're going to see a little bit different. We're going to see the Rotom and the Fluttermane in the back come back.
Yeah, Lintymon completely blundering his Terra type right there, expecting, was not expecting Ice Shard to go into the Corviknight slot. Corviknight being the fastest Mon on the field with the Tailwind. He was expecting to get a move off there. Really smart from Currypuff to threaten the Ice Shard on that Corviknight slot to get the double KO there. And now we have a pretty even match in terms of HP, but it's all going to come down to this last turn of Tailwind.
So something to keep note is that the Iron Bundle was the booster energy version, so it was not Focus Sash. Both Mons are actually going to be protecting. That is an interesting play because normally when you want to double protect in a situation like this, you want to choice spec lock the Flutter Mane, but probably what's happening is Currypuff wants to get that disable off. Or the Encore.
Yeah.
I think it was disable, so you want the...
Tailwind.
Tailwind. Yeah, Tailwind's actually going to...
But also, what I would just like to say, if Lintymon predicted that double protect, he could have gotten a nasty plot on his Rotom, which could have been a huge momentum changer in this set. Lintymon not going for it right now, and now no Tailwind on his side of the field. What does Currypuff do here in this
Moonblast
situation?
is going to do a lot of damage into the Iron Bundle. It actually lives, but the special attack drop might actually be a big factor. Icicle Spear going to be coming into the Flutter Mane. That is going to do 2 hits of damage, and that's going to get a quick KO. And now, let's see, is the Iron Bundle going to be faster than this Rotom Wash version? 2 hits first. Let's see what's going to happen. Iron Bundle is going to hit the Icy Wind first, but it's not going to do that much damage. It will drop the speed on the opposing Rotom Wash, which might actually make the Baxcalibur faster. Thunderbolt coming through into the Iron Bundle. That is going to pick up the KO, and now we're in an endgame situation where Baxcalibur is weak to this Thunderbolt, but just right back, you could see the Glaive Rush pick up a 1-hit KO.
Yeah, it definitely could. The time to mention Rotom's item right now is the Citrus Berries, so that might have to come into play here. Icicle Spear is not doing enough damage though, and with the Terra Water typing on Baxcalibur, we're expecting this Thunderbolt to do a lot more damage than Baxcalibur is putting out right now.
Okay, so we got 4 hits and 1 crit, so it's actually going to do a decent amount of damage. The Thunderbolt on the full HP Baxcalibur is actually going to bring it down to about 1 HP, and now it's on a crit too, so there is no way. And the Paralyze coming through! That is extremely bad for Currypuff, and now Jacob Lindner is going to pick up the KO because of the outspeed on the Thunderbolt with the Rotom Wash, and that's going to be game number 1 in a tight set for Lintymon.
So that was actually really smart play from Currypuff, because the reason he went for Icicle Spear there was to not break the Citrus Berry, and then on the next turn go for Glaive Rush and hope it was enough damage. But that Paralyze coming in there at the end was actually enough to win Lintymon that game, and in exciting fashion, I would just like to say.
So something else to keep in mind is that if Glaive Rush did not get the KO outright, regardless of the Citrus Berry, the attack from the Rotom would be doing double damage into the Baxcalibur. So Baxcalibur would definitely have gotten KO'd regardless of a crit, regardless of some sort of like low roll. So you had to have done Icicle Spear to at least get some damage off. You have to pray that the Thunderbolt doesn't, well, on Para, also doesn't kill you. Even on a crit, it didn't KO, but that Para mattered right there. So we're going to see game number 2. Let's see what kind of adjustments both players are having, but I mean, it could go any way. It was definitely in the hands of Currypuff.
Both players had enough adjustments in that game where they could have done one move a little differently, maybe did a tempo change a little bit differently, and they could have won the game. But it's all depends on how they take that information from game 1 and use it into game 2. How are they going to adjust to each other's game plans, to their starting Pokemon? It's going to be very, very interesting. I wonder if we'll see a Chi-Yu mirror in this second game. I'm not too confident on it, but I would love to see it. As a Chi-Yu user myself.
I love a good Chi-Yu, but we gotta be a little
realistic.
Something that if you're playing against a Screamtail, especially one with has Encore and Disable, you have to pick your moves in the correct order almost every turn, because you do not want to lock yourself into something like a Protect, because you're not going to be able to do that much damage. You don't want to really lock yourself into something like, Bulk Up in the wrong position. You want to use Bulk Up, but you don't want to use it in a position where you can get outsped and then Encored or Disabled, because then you're not doing anything, and you could end in a situation where you're going to struggle. So playing against Screamtail is a little awkward because you can't do the setup that you normally do to beat other leads. So going into this game number 2, that's something that Currypuff has to look into. The Glamora and the Iron Bundle coming onto the field, it's a little bit of a lead change, and we're going to see the Flutter Mane on the Rotom side for Jacob Lintner.
Yeah, so the Glamora did not come out at all in the last game. It was the Annihilate. And this thing is pretty bulky. It's got Assault Vest, so that thing is going to not fall to a lot of stuff, but a Hydro Pump possibly, which Rotom is threatening right now, could come in big, making a big difference. But we'll see what happens, what move gets chosen.
Yeah, so the Glamora nowadays runs Mortal Spin to really set up the poison. This one does not have the Mortal Spin, opting for the Assault Vest with the Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, Power Jump, and Energy Ball set. Wait, oh, what the heck? Did you see that? That was a little wacky animation right there for the Terra.
That was the sickest Terra
I was
throw
really
I've
cool.
ever
I'm
seen.
like, wait, did they get like secret access to the DLC? So we're
Dude.
going to see the Terra Electric Rotom coming through. I'm not really sure what that's exactly for because, I mean, I guess it's really good because then you have no super effective weaknesses because of the Levitate. So you're only taking neutral hits. Also, you know, losing the water type on the Rotom Wash so you don't get freeze dried from the Iron Bundle there. We're going to be seeing an evasion.
An Icy Wind Miss, that is a 5% chance right there. And because of that, Rotom Wash will still keep its speed very high. Even though it was the slowest thing on the field anyways, that could come in handy when the next Pokemon after Iron Bundle Fans comes in.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing the Terra Electric Thunderbolt immediately obliterating the Iron Bundle. Now Currypuff in a very awkward situation because now you have to bring in the Excalibur from the back, but you still have the Terra online, but you're still facing down this Flutter Mane, which could easily deal so much damage into the Excalibur, which is one of your damaging mons.
You really have to predict really well what Lintymon is going to do right here. If he puts a Moonblast into Excalibur, it can be incredible, super effective damage to him. If he puts a Thunderbolt in it and you Terra, it could be super effective damage. You have to get this prediction right to already being at a 1 Pokemon deficit.
So the Shadow Ball is going to be coming in from the Flare Mane into the Glamora slot, still not doing that much damage because of the Assault Vest. But the Icicle Spear is going to be hitting into this Flutter Mane. 3 hits coming through and still not be able to get the KO. And the 4th one will guarantee the KO onto the Flutter Mane. But still, you have this Rotom Wash on the side that's still on the field with the Terra Electric not able to take any super effective hits because, you know, it lost its ground resistance. Or not ground immunity because of the Levitate. So the Sludge Bomb actually going to be coming in, no poison coming through. Citrus Berry going to be activating, bringing this back up to 65 HP, about just a little under half. But Thunderbolt coming through into the Glamora, I'd imagine. Yeah, Glamora into the Assault Vest and Glamora, and still not doing that much damage.
That thing tanks. That is a ×2 affected Thunderbolt, okay? That's like, what, 100 and...
Yeah, because it's Terra Electric.
190 damage?
Yeah, it literally is.
That's crazy. That it didn't even do a sliver.
It didn't do half, which is... I mean, obviously, you know, most Rotom Wash's base special attack is, like, I think, hovering around like 100 to 110, so it's pretty respectful. But not a lot of the Rotom Washes have too much special attack investment. Special attack investment. It really depends on what Lintymon's special attack investment was, so we can't really confirm. But again, the Terra Electric Thunderbolt should be doing a lot of damage. But against, you know, Glamora, which has a pretty decent special defense stat and a pretty serviceable HP stat, it's going to be living that all day, every day with the Assault Vest. Going into this next turn, we're still in a situation where the Glamora could do a lot of damage because now it cannot... the Glamora could do a lot of damage, especially into this Scream Tail, because it doesn't have the Terra Steel version. The Terra Water coming through with the Excalibur. Let's see what's going to be damaging.
Yeah, probably going for the Terra here to protect himself from a potential play rough from the Screamtail's point of view, but it's actually going to go for Disable instead, disabling Icicle Spear, which has been Currypuff's main damaging move right there, and actually getting a turn against, gets a turn canceled against him.
That's a unfortunate miss. The Hydro Pump with the 80% accurate move does not hit into the Glamora. That more than likely would have gotten the KO. That's an unfortunate miss. And the Glamora actually getting the Sludge Bomb into the Scream Tail, doing just more than half. So that's going to be a 2-hit KO if it were to go for the Sludge Bomb again. And the Glamora is still faster than the Rotom Wash. The Protect coming out from Excalibur. Interesting play from Currypuff because you still have to be very careful of Disable. Disable coming out into the Glamora. Let's see if it was going for the Sludge Bomb once again. And let's see. And the Sludge Bomb was going to be used by Currypuff, getting baited into the Sludge Bomb again. Hydro Bomb coming through into the Glamora, and that is going to be a KO.
An absolutely perfectly executed move from Lintymon. Just going double into Glamora, knowing that Glamora cannot protect, knew it was a pretty safe play there, and then forces out Currypuff's last Mon, which is Chi-Yu here. This is a very, very potent duo. The Lava Plume is very threatening here because of the thermal exchange on Excalibur, but also because both of these Pokemon do not resist Fire type right
You
now.
have to Ice Shard here because you do not want to get Encore disabled. The Encore is going to be coming into the Baxcalibur, which, you know, it's locked into the Ice Shard for one more turn, but because it's a priority move, it will be moving first compared to the opponent. The Lava Plume actually coming in and getting a double KO into all of Lintymon's Mons, while also boosting up Baxcalibur's attack by +1 because of that thermal exchange ability.
Yeah, I mean, perfectly executed move from Currypuff, knowing that both of these Pokemon are at low enough HP where Lava Plume probably KOs. Getting the Ice Shard chip damage on Screamtail was probably enough to do it for them. And now Currypuff has a 2v1 against Corviknight. Both Pokemon that are doing at least neutral or super effective damage to this Pokemon. I do not know if Lintymon has enough to do it, but hey, one crit is all it takes.
One crit is all it takes. So the Corviknight does have the safety goggles as Bruce, Greatbird, Iron Head, and Tailwind on Lintymon's side. But the issue is that when you're facing down with no Terra and a Corviknight, when a Chi was on the field, even with Lava Plume, it's still going to do a lot of damage because of the stab. And, you know, the stab damage from Lava Plume. You also have, you know, the Treasures of Ruin ability for the Beads of Ruin, dropping the special defense by 25% on the opposing side. And you're also giving Baxcalibur the +1 again for the thermal exchange. The Chi was actually going to be protecting here. We thought we were going to see something else. The Ice Shard is going to be coming into the the Corviknight, should I say, but it's going to do about 33% of the HP. Chi-Yu protecting that Brave Bird right there, and now none of Baxcalibur's moves are going to be disabled, so the Icicle Spear is back online.
Yeah, the Icicle Spear is going to do a lot more damage than Ice Shard. There's no spread moves on this Corviknight. I do not think he has enough in the tank to be able to take down both of these Pokemon, and Chi-Yu finishes off the deal, and we are 1-1 and heading to a Game 3 situation.
And I thought this was in a very bad situation for Currypuff. It was able to bring it back. That Chi-Yu in the back with the Baxcalibur duo with the Terra Water did so much to just break through the Rotom and the Screamtail immediately, and then, you know, having that Corviknight in the back, not the best situation that you want to see, but it doesn't really seem like there was any other, you know, if you had Baxcalibur in the back against that situation, you know, you could potentially give your opponent the Lava Plume +1 thermal exchange, but you could also just, you know, Dark Pulse instead of giving your opponent the boost, while, you know, also subsequently not giving yourself this boost. So it really depends. This matchup is very heavily dependent on how well each player can outplay each other.
Yeah, I think positioning is really, really important in this game. I mean, in the first game, Lintymon's Screamtail was probably the most influential Pokemon, was just encoring, disabling everything. Because of that, Currypuff made the adjustment, I need to bring Glamora. Super effective damage onto Screamtail, was really, really threatening, and because of that, it was harder for Matilda to get going, you know? So let's see how Lintymon adjusts to the Glamora adjustment. I wonder if he will bring anything new to the situation, or will it just be maybe he'll call Currypuff's bluff.
You got to remember that, you know, if not for the para in Game 1, this could have been a 2-0 for Currypuff.
True.
He had a really good
I totally
position.
forgot about
He had
that.
a really good position to get the KO onto the Rotom, but because of the para and because of the crit, it really mattered in the end. So Currypuff, you know, going down 1-0, but then bringing it back in game number 2, and we're going to be seeing game number 3 in the top 4 side of Skydrop series. So we're going to see the leads in game number 3. Turn 0 is going to be the Iron Bundle and Glamora, so same as game number 2. And we're going to see the Baxcalibur and the Corviknight on Lintymon's side. This is a different change.
A completely different opening for Lintymon. He had not even brought Baxcalibur in games 1 and 2, and now starting off with his lead as Baxcalibur and already starting off strong. I mean, he's going to be doing exactly what Currypuff has been doing this entire time to him. Icicle Spear, Ice Shard, and Glaive Rush. The same exact movesets for these two Pokemon.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting lead because Glamora can't really touch the Corviknight too well. The Sludge Bomb is not super effective. It's not even effective at all. It doesn't even hit against the Steel-type Pokemon. Earth Power also doesn't work. Power Gem can do a decent amount of damage because of the Stab Energy Ball. doesn't really do anything either. The Baxcalibur coming out with the Terra Poison this time around, which is a little bit more common. The Terra Water and the Terra Poison are pretty common. If you have the EQ spam version, you typically go Terra Ground, but Terra Poison has been picking up in usage. So the Freeze Dry coming into the Corviknight, doing pretty middling damage of it being honest, about 25%. The Icicle Spear, that is actually very scary because you're going to be proccing the Toxic Debris, and you're going to be setting up the badly poisoned spikes just on the second hit alone. Granted, you are getting a lot more damage on the Glamora, but at the same time, you got to be very careful if you're in the back.
Yeah, and especially because the 2 Pokemon you would want in the back switching into badly poisoned Toxic Spikes are Corviknight and Terra Poison Baxcalibur. So it is definitely going to be a risk to switch in. Going for the Tailwind, though, now he is setting up the hyper offense to be able to sweep this team, hopefully, as soon as possible. Not even letting the Toxic Poison make too big of a difference in this game.
Okay, so now that the Tailwind is online, it is almost a guarantee that the Baxcalibur is going to be faster than this Iron Bundle. The Glamora is going to be switching out. The Baxcalibur should be moving first in this next turn, and then the Iron Bundle, and then the Corviknight. Let's see what's going to be happening. Chiyu's Beads of Ruin going to be activating, going to be doing more damage for the Iron Bundle. The Encore is actually coming out. The Baxcalibur is actually extremely slow, and that is going to be walking the Corviknight into the Tailwind for the rest of, well, not the rest of this game, but just for the next few turns. Icicle Spear coming into this Chiyu, not really doing too much damage, just getting a decent amount of chip. Should be bringing it to about a little bit over 50%, depending on if you get the 5th hit. You do not, and you're still a 2-hit KO.
I would just like to say that is a throwback to Game 1. The same exact thing happened on turn 2 of Game 1. Corviknight going for Tailwind on turn 1, turn 2, Iron Bundle encored that. I wonder if Lintymon wasn't expecting it or was just hard predicting that he wouldn't go for it. But amazing play there from Currypuff to force a switch out from Corviknight. And now we have Baxcalibur and Rotom Wash, who does have Levitate, so he does avoid those badly poisoned Toxic Spikes.
Okay, Freeze Dry coming through, just doing a little bit under 50%.
I
and
hate
the freeze
Dry
coming through. That's a 10% chance, and
but
now the Baxcalibur is actually going to be stuck frozen. So that normally doesn't happen because Baxcalibur is always an Ice type, but because it changed to Terra Poison, it got frozen.
That is really unfortunate there, but Currypuff will take those all day. He'll take those every day of the week. And
that's revenge for the Thunderbolt in game
that
1.
that is the hacks. What goes around comes around. That's what they say in the business, you know. And yeah, this is going to be a lot harder for Lintymon to come back in this situation. Maybe just hoping for a thaw in this turn. You know, maybe that's all you can do. But yeah, it's not looking good, especially with Freeze Dry threatening a super effective damage against Rotom and getting the KO there. And now what will Chiyu do in this situation? Another freeze! And Lintymon's face just looks dead inside.
Yeah,
right
and then
now.
you just took so much damage from the Dark Pulse, not able to get the KO onto the Baxcalibur, and now you're forced to switch in either the Screamtail, which will get afflicted by the badly poisoned Toxic Debris that we saw in turn number 1 against the Glamora, or you have to bring in the Corviknight, which is a terrible matchup, into this Chiyu and the Iron Bundle.
Yeah, it's just a terrible situation all around, you know. But I mean, with the badly poisoned on the Screamtail, you're definitely not in good straits. But let's see what Lintymon can do with it. There could be a way to win. We just don't know.
Yeah,
maybe Lintymon sees the Matrix.
So the Tailwind, I'm pretty sure, is still activated for at least one more turn. So Matilda, the Screamtail, should be outspeeding the Iron Bundle for at least one turn. The Baxcalibur, living at 20 HP right now, still frozen shut. Can't use any priority moves right now because it tried to break through. Icy Wind coming through. That should be able to pick up the KO onto the Baxcalibur, and it's going to do a decent amount of chip onto the Screamtail, dropping its speed by 1 stage. And now we're in a bad situation. What is Chiyu going to be using? Is it going to be using Nasty Plot to set up potentially for an endgame sweep, or is it going to be using something like Lava Plume, or is it going to be using a Dark Pulse? Yeah,
that's the question right here. Dark Pulse is going to do a good amount of chip damage, especially with the Toxic Poison coming in to play. 85 HP on the Screamtail and only, I think, 90 HP on the Corviknight. There is not a lot of room for error here for Lintymon with Currypuff with 4 Pokemon left in the back.
Yeah, the Screamtail is probably going to get dropped down by the Iron Bundle by itself because it's already been -1 speed, and it should be outspeeding both Pokemon pretty easily. We're going to see the Protect from Chiyu, just, make sure that you don't get hit by some sort of move, I guess. The Iron Bundle should be moving next, and we're going to see the Freeze Dry into the Corviknight. Does this pick up the KO from 90? It does not, so it's going to go from 90 to 26, just living barely, and the Play Rough actually going to be going into the Chiyu, protecting that. And we're going to be seeing the Corviknight go for another Tailwind here, but that is a bad situation because you know what's going to happen? Encore from Iron Bundle.
Yes, unless Corviknight can somehow get his next move off in front of oh yeah, it's just not looking good at all. I just don't know how Lintymon's way out of this. Currypuff switching out the Chiyu, probably expecting Lintymon to target that slot. Matilda going for disable on Iron Bundle, preventing him from using Freeze Dry. So
Yep, Freeze Dry got disabled from the Scream Tail. The Roost is actually going to come out. It's not over yet. Now the Corviknight is bringing back its HP, but the problem is this Scream Tail only has one more turn left.
yes, definitely, for sure. It depends on what Corviknight can do here. Maybe Corviknight just gets like 5 crits under Tailwind, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be a bad situation either way. We're going to see the Iron Bundle protecting. Just make sure that you don't get hit by some sort of attack from the Screamtail or the Corviknight, and then the Play Rough going to be going into the Iron Bundle slot net, able to get any damage off. What is the Glamora going to be able to do here? The Corviknight is actually going to get the hit in first against the Glamora, and that's going to be a KO, so maybe it's not over just yet, but the problem is the Badly Poison is going to be afflicting into the Screamtail. That is going to be a KO on that side, and now Lintymon only has one Pokemon left, and it's going to be the Corviknight.
Yes, and we just saw that Iron Bundle used Protect in that turn, meaning that that Pokemon is vulnerable to maybe a Brave Bird or an Iron Head, but the Baxcalibur coming in, and that is Terra Water. So if Currypuff chooses, can use that to resist the Iron Head that Corviknight can threaten right here.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad situation because you're probably going to get hit by the Freeze Dry. Oh, no,
Freeze Dry is disabled.
It's disabled, yeah. So
yeah.
you pretty much have to go for either a combination of Encore or Icy Wind, but the Baxcalibur pretty much has free reign to go for Icicle Spears all day, every day. The Baxcalibur, I would assume, is going to be the Terra Water version. Yep, it will be. Baxcalibur is going to be going for the Terra into the Terra Water. Probably most likely going for the Icicle Spears to just get as much chip damage as possible. Let's see what the Iron Bundle is going to be able to do against this Corviknight in just a moment here. Encore going into the Corviknight is going to be locking it into the Roost. So, I mean, we're in a situation where Corviknight is just going to keep boosting up its HP. Oh, wait, no, actually, it's locked into the Iron Head, and that's barely doing any damage. I didn't barely even see the health bar go down. Icicle Spear going to hit once. It's going to hit a few more times. I don't know if it's going to get the KO barring a crit. Even on the 5th hit, we'll just have to see. That's the 3rd hit. Number 4 coming through right here. 54 to 27. Is this going to be able to get the KO the 5th hit? And it's not. 25 HP on the last one. Going down to 2 HP. Tailwind is gone. And I'd imagine this is going to be GG for Currypuff. Going to be moving on. Jacob Linner right there signaling on our perspective, going for the forfeit. And that is going to be a 2-1 victory for Currypuff, bringing it back from game number 1 and bringing it back all the way.
Oh, okay. But yeah, amazing stuff there from Currypuff, who lost game 1 in spectacular fashion through a crit paralyzed Thunderbolt. Had to come back, had to compose himself. Because after getting hit with a lot of hacks, a lot of players would lose their head, get a little frustrated. Currypuff staying calm, going into that being like, it's okay. He won because of hacks. I can do this. I have a good game plan. I'm going to switch up. I'm going to bring the Glamora. And once he brought the Glamora in, it was hard for Lintymon to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, Currypuff, again, had the positional advantage through the entire set. Game number 1, game number 2, game number 3. But, he just lost game number 1 because of hacks, because of the Thunderbolt. And game number 2, he just played it really well with the Chiyu and the Baxcalibur in the end game. And then just having the ability to set up the Badly Poison against the Screamtail to just get that confirmed damage on easily without having to do too much. Because when you set up a Badly Poison, you're taking damage, but you're taking more damage every subsequent turn, so it's not like you're gonna die faster.
It's also passive damage, so you could also just like protect, stall that out.
Yeah, that's why the Iron Bundle in the last turn before the Screamtail went down just protected, because I don't need to take a Play Rough from that situation.
Exactly.
I can pretty much just protect here, and you can't really do anything about it. You can Play Rough into either one of my slots, but I mean, if you're Play Roughing into the Protect one, you're not doing any damage. But if you're Play Roughing into the other one, I mean, it's doing something, but it's not really doing that much.
Yeah, for sure. Amazing stuff there from Currypuff. And
So
Yeah.
something that we also didn't know, because I didn't really say this to the players. So Donk actually winning 2-1 off stream. I was hoping to have them on, even though it was a Dundoza Ditto. So we're going to be seeing Donk versus Currypuff. This is actually a rematch of the CT GamerCon VGC event in finals. So we're going to see a rematch. I wasn't really able to watch this because I was bouncing around a bunch of stuff. We're going to go to a quick ad break, and then we'll be right back for finals of Skydrop Series number 2. Don't go away. We're going to be back in about 5 minutes. Thank you.